Hello, I'm Felicity Cohen. I'm so excited to introduce you to my Wellness Warriors podcast. For over 20 years, I've been a passionate advocate for helping thousands of Australians find solutions to treating obesity and health-related complications through surgical intervention and holistic managed care. My podcast is dedicated to all the people, past, present and future, who have helped shape my journey and continue to inspire me to work consistently to achieve a healthier Australia in both adults and future generations. I hope you enjoy it.
So the benefits of that has changed my life, and I'm very sort of active now. I'm sort of very hands-on with the grandchildren. They keep me busy. So yeah.
Career. What has changed for you over the last 17 years in terms of your career pathway? Did you notice that you were more confident, capable of going for different jobs post weight loss?
Yeah.
Tell us about your career transformation.
Look, I've never ever had a problem getting a job. I have a personality that stands out above other people quite often. But my last job that I got, I've been there for 5 years and I've just retired from. I was 60 when I went for that position and I got it, and I was really surprised. And it was because, I was a lot slimmer, much more confident in myself. I loved speaking with people. That's my biggest thing. I'm a great communicator, and it was a great reception job. It was something I hadn't done for a long time. Previous to that, for 20 years, I'd been merchandising with many big companies. I think last time I spoke to you, I was with Mondelez, which was Cadbury. And that kept me fit. I'd never been able to do those sort of things, the building of displays and in and out of the cars and the shopping centres, So I've always been a little bit on the fitter side, but, the weight is what held you back all the time, So yeah, that's my life.
So let's talk about your fitness change in what's happened to you, over that time. And I think one of my greatest, fondest memories that really links me back to you, for me, the connectedness that you had with all of us at the clinic was really special. And it taught me a lot about community and about how important it was for us to provide that network of support around our patients. And that comes and evolves from our patient interactions and experiences, and you were such a big part of that. Yeah. So when I think back to one of my first major milestones and memories of things that we did together, we got involved in doing the Noosa Triathlon together as teams, and you were about to turn, it gives me shivers, you were about to turn 53 years of age, and at the age of 53 you decided to take on running 10 kilometres at the Noosa Triathlon as part of a team. Can we talk about that experience?
Oh, wow.
What did the training look like? What did the event look like? Let's just dive into that for a moment.
I mean, it was pretty daunting because I wasn't, even though I said I was fit, not in that sense, I was, fit after being able to, go to the gym and do things like that. But you guys were fantastic because we had access to personal trainers and gym. And, I'd made my mind up that I was going to do this, and I had a great family support. The girls and Ron were so much behind me. It was fantastic, as well as you guys, as you know. And it was just, I thought every time I'd run, I'd think, I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm never going to be able to do this, But we persevered, and we just kept training and training and training. And I'll never forget the warming up area, you're sort of waiting, And I had never run through sand before. I'll never forget that. And that was our first thing, and before you get onto the roadside of it, you had that sand to run through, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realise there was sand here, and I got through that, and then I heard someone in the crowd yell out, "Go Trish," and it was a girlfriend of mine whose husband was also participating, and neither of us knew that we were going to be there. So that was really exciting to go through that, and I had, one of the doctors running with me, which was great support. It was fantastic. And when we got back to that finish line, it was just, awesome is the best word. It was just such an awesome experience to be able to say I did it. Oh, look, that was a great holiday. There was we went with a composite group of people that was full of Ron's work. Went over there for a fiberglass convention, and I wasn't going originally. Ron was booked and going, and I said I'm not doing it. And then I kind of thought, what, I can do this now, So I went with him, and we had the best. I think we were there for two and a half weeks or something. And when they said that we're going to the Great Wall of China, I thought, okay, and I sort of looked at it and thought, okay, I can do this too. And we did, you know, we didn't walk all the way, obviously, or a lot of it, but it was lots of stairs. And I mean, I managed it without puffing and panting like I would have normally. And that was another box ticked, you know, so that was really great. You know, the biggest problem was buying clothes. I mean, now I can walk into anywhere and I can buy off the rack, but most things stop at 18. And if you're a 22, 24 and up, you can't buy, or if you do, it's a tent. They're horrible. They don't cater for the larger person. So for me, that was a big plus, to be able to just walk in and buy something off the rack. But you know, no matter if you went to a restaurant and you ate, you feel like all eyes were on you because you're the larger person, you know, and you're not eating the salad. Or, you know, you're having a bowl of hot chips because that's what you did, you know. So my diet has completely changed now, which is fantastic. You know, I'm eating much healthier and enjoying the food. So that's another plus for me. And I wouldn't say I didn't eat healthy before. I just ate man-sized meals. Whatever Ron ate, I ate. So if he was having a big steak, then I'd have the big steak, whereas now it's much smaller portions and enjoying the food a lot more, chewing it, enjoying it, you know.
My life now is so totally different having lost the weight. The biggest thing, it's far easier to travel. You keep hearing these things, and if you're overweight, you keep hearing these things of, oh, I feel embarrassed, I've got to ask for a seatbelt extender. The worst thing is how easy is it going to be to get in and out of those aeroplane toilets? That's a very big factor you have to think of when you are so obese. Yeah, will I get into that toilet? Will I be able to just do those things in there if necessary, you know, especially on a long haul flight? You've got to think of those things when you're so overweight. And when you're so overweight, you overflow that seat. That armrest is not available to anyone because you take over the armrest as well. So that poor person in the seat beside you, unless it's a family member, they're of, you know, hey, I've paid for a seat here, mate. I want my seat, I want my armrest, not have you overhang into my seat as well. So when you lose that weight and that thing is, I don't need a seatbelt extender anymore, I can travel. One of the things I did on a trip was have a helicopter flight. I would never have considered that when you're so obese, because again, they won't take you in a helicopter. They don't have seatbelt extenders in a helicopter. It's a safety thing. If you can't fit into their normal harness seatbelts on a helicopter, you can't go on one. So again, that was a major thing. Since then I've been on helicopters. I've travelled to several places. I've been to Fiji this year. I've travelled to, I did a cruise from Sydney to Singapore and then spent several nights in Singapore before flying back home, and there's been so much more things. I go to the gym several times a week. I now do yoga a couple of times a week, and having done the cruise, something I was always interested in was Latin dancing. And days at sea on the cruise ship, they did ballroom dancing, and several classes was Latin dancing. And I enjoyed it. So when I got back off the cruise, I looked up and found a local salsa dancing group that's only 10-minute drive away, so I've since joined them. So now I'm a salsa level 1. I'm probably only a week away now from progressing to what they call salsa improvers or salsa level 2. And it's a lot of fun because, again, one of the things with that is it's called muscle training. So muscle training, muscle memory. So it becomes an automatic thing in the movement, so you don't look at your feet anymore. You're not always counting steps out loud. It's being done in your mind because you know what you're going to do. And the hardest things for us guys to learn to do is leading a girl with with hand movements, tell the girl what to do when they're dancing. So with the people who have been in it in the salsa level 2 and 3, you can't just dance with them. And because when you're at the beginner stage, the girls have been taught, they know that they have to do this and they have to do that. But as guys, we've got to learn to use subtle hand movements. It's not feet gestures, it's hand movements of then guiding them through of what the next stage through of salsa dancing. So I'm loving that. I try and do that at least 3 nights a week. And there's another one, it's called bachata. It's a Cuban-based one. It's different to salsa again. So just to complicate the factor a bit more, I'm also doing bachata as well as salsa. I'm not trying to push bachata as much as more, but I really want to proceed and learn with the salsa so that I can get out there and go to the social dance nights, which are held at a few places on the coast here. And I wouldn't have believed salsa is as big as it is, because my first class, they were open, was on an Anzac Day, Monday night public holiday, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe 10, maybe 20 people might turn up for a public holiday salsa dancing, various classes. There were at least 60 people there. And I was blown away as to how big it really is and how big that community is on the Gold Coast. Yes, you can now fit into a toilet on an aeroplane without much worries. Yes, you can sit in an airline seat without having to overcrowd the person beside you. Yes, you can sit in that same seat without having to ask for a seatbelt extender. Yes, you can now get into a helicopter flight. Yes, you can go on amusement park rides and know that they can sit the bar on you without having to say, sorry sir, you can't go on this ride. Yes, you can jet ski without worrying about, will the jet ski sink because I'm too heavy for that jet ski. Yes, you can now get into your car seat without having to adjust the steering wheel or needing a seatbelt extender on your car seat. Yes, you can fit into a cinema seat more comfortably without having to go to gold class because the seats are too narrow and they're too tight for you to fit into. Yes, you can use the stairs and go up and down on the cruise ship without having to worry about stopping every few steps and taking a breath. Yes, you can go to the restaurants and not look silly or a pig when grabbing so much food. Yes, you can hop into the pool on the boat without worrying about emptying half the pool out into the ocean.
At the time I enjoyed what I was doing because I loved being creative and I was very good at what I did. But yeah, you're boxed into that career because I was physically capable of doing that job, and I wasn't physically capable of doing much else. But as time went on and you lost weight, just your mindset changes and different things enter your mind of what you're capable of doing. And I left that career behind many years ago now and have done quite a few different diverse things, from working out in the fly-in, fly-out world of being a camp manager in 59-degree heat in the middle of the Australian desert, from somebody that had to live in air conditioning 9 months of the year because it just couldn't survive. And if you go out into the heat of Queensland for 20 minutes at a time and then come back into air conditioning, to totally flipping and being able to work. I'm not saying 59-degree heat isn't hot, but being able to survive and cope and work out there. And just progressively gone from different careers that have opened to me that I was never able to do because of physical limitations before. But it just changes your mindset I said I was happy sewing back then, but thinking, okay, I said things just move on and you don't realise the change of your mindset doesn't happen overnight. It just gradually happens and you realise, okay, I can do this, or I want to do that, I'll try this, I'll give this a go. And I've always liked adventure things as well, and over the years I've jumped out of planes a couple of times. One was just 2 months ago for my birthday. From whitewater rafting earlier this year, I was in New Zealand and rafted down a 7-metre waterfall, the highest commercially rafted waterfall in the world. Just lots of, I like doing those things, and those things were just excluded, that you were never allowed to, certainly not at my weight, but even other times I've travelled when I've been in South America that, I was pulled aside. I was probably maybe 150 kilos at the time and pulled aside on the day we were whitewater rafting and told, no, you can't be part of this group. And it just, it makes you, it's not nice to be not being able to be included. But it's, in the beginning, it's not something you realise is going to happen or is part of the whole big picture goal or anything. It just happens along the way as a byproduct. You realise that you're capable of doing other things. And I said, for me, I fell out of passion for sewing. I said to this day, I could still do the quality of work of as you know, I've worked in London for the Queen's Couturier and for Princess Diana's Couturier. But yeah, I said I lost passion, and I don't know why that happened. It just did. And then, okay, well, what else can I do? Because I then had goals of other, more financial goals of buying properties. Okay, I need to increase my income. What can I do? And yeah, I had a goal to buy further properties. So it was like, okay, I'm not going to do that where I am at the moment. And whether that brought on the losing of passion of sewing, I don't know, but as I said, it just then fueled what else can I do? And I sort of looked around and thought, okay, what can I do? And I got myself a HR truck license. I got a job out in the mining industry, in camp management, but then I've now used my truck license for other jobs in terms of driving heavy vehicles and large vehicles. And with each job has led to the next. Like, they've still, even the 3 or 4 careers after sewing have all been reasonably diverse. They've sort of built on each other, and the skills that you developed in one, you can tap into that for the next one, and tap into that for the next one, and just being able to so I've built an investment house, and looking at buying something next year again. Just because you've been able to increase your financial security by doing different jobs that you were just not physically capable of doing before.
I've become that terrible meme of, I dress corporate during the week, and then on the weekends I'm activewear at the shops, activewear everywhere. It's comfortable and it's suitable for every occasion. So and then I don't have to change when I go for a walk in the afternoon.
Fantastic.
So I love it.
But also going to the gym, so that's something that's new, that's been a new part of the journey.
Yeah, and I still struggle. I don't know if anybody else has when they're bigger. Walking into a gym was so daunting and so overwhelming when you're bigger and you don't feel like you should be there, even though you're there for the same purpose as everybody else, is to get fit. But I felt, and I still have that a little bit when I walk in. I shouldn't, because I look normal in my, to everybody else, and I don't look upon anybody else in that way, but I still have that feeling that I used to have walking into a gym. So it does take a lot of effort for me to actually go to a gym on my own. I'm much better if I have somebody there with me, or meeting somebody there, because I don't have that feeling of, I shouldn't be there, but there should be no reason for me to feel like that anymore. But your mind still plays those tricks on you. It's that, what is it, the body morphia or something that it's called. But once I'm there, I don't have a problem. It's that anxiety of getting there and feeling like I shouldn't be there, like I used to feel if I did try and go. So now it's good. I can I get there and I'm okay once I'm there. But it would never have ever considered, the lifestyle that I have now.
So what other impact do you feel that this has had on your family? You've got children. How do you think this has impacted your own family dynamics, your children's lifestyle? Have you seen changes in there?
We were quite active anyway on the weekends. We'd always go and do things and bike ride when they were younger. My youngest is now 19 and my eldest is 21. So I think having the family genetics of, most of my family has been overweight, and they've got that gene as well, I suppose. So them seeing me more active, I think is impacting on them. My eldest goes to gym and works out.
Did you have any health concerns before surgery?
Only really my feet. For a good couple of years as the weight went on, and I used to always shake my head at the doctors going, it's not because I'm overweight, it's because I did step-ups when I was trying to start doing personal training and I was bigger. And but I had plantar fasciitis for quite a few years, and in both feet alternating, and heel spurs in both feet alternating as well. So had to wear the daggy shoes of the orthotics and every day. But that, as soon as I started losing weight, that stopped. Didn't have the foot pain at all. That was incredible. So that's when I went, yeah, the doctors kind of knew what they were talking about. I would never have gone for a position like this. So I have become deputy since losing the weight, and I would never have had the confidence to actually do it, even though other people didn't see me in the same light that I saw myself. Because my confidence increased and my confidence in my ability increased, then I felt like I could go for those roles. So I did, and I got one, and it's been terrific. But you know, I hated public speaking, hated standing up in front of people because of the way that I felt about myself. But I have to do it every day in my job now, and I'm getting better at it.
That's it's actually one of the things that I think I was talking with my 18-year-old about it the other week. Is that for me now, I know that in 20 years' time, I'm going to be that grandfather who is going to be running around with my grandkids, who is going to be going, you know, doing all the things that I suppose, you know, kids really want. You know, they want to have that interaction. You know, I explained to someone the other day in conversation that to me now life is about moments and memories, because at the end of the day, that's all you're left with. I have recently started dating an amazing lady. She's also a bariatric patient, which is just crazy for me. Like the fact that she completely understands my journey because she's been through it, well, obviously in her own way. And personalities are just this crazy mishmash of like so much similarities, yet the differences complement each other. And I've never experienced that.
That's fantastic. Do you think the surgery common denominator has also supported and helped you through developing your connection in your relationship?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, if I wasn't able to engage emotionally with myself and with my children, how could I really be able to do that with a new potential partner?
In 2002, you've had surgery, you know, you're looking at changing your life, and then we say, let's go and jump on a plane together and go and run a seminar in Wollongong, and you're like, well, I've never actually been on a plane before. I think I might have held your hand on that plane.
You did. You and Carol.
Yeah. And since then, that's actually allowed you to step outside of your comfort zone and do things that you might never have done.
That's exactly right.
So where have you flown to since?
Oh, we've been to America twice, we've been to New Zealand, we've been to Phuket.
That's just fantastic. So you got the travel bug from that first little trip down to Wollongong.
Yes.
That is so exciting. I love that. And you know,
I always get on the plane and I go, oh, Felicity, where are you?
but you know what? If that's a benefit and a bonus of your weight loss surgery, look at how life-changing that can be in itself.
It is.
Yeah, love it.
It's great.
What about on family? I know, you know, you've got two girls, they're now grown up, they're leading their own lives, but you know, when I first met you, obviously, you know, part of the motivation was to impact your family and to have more energy, to be more mobile and to be able to run around after your kids, as you mentioned. What change have you seen, you know, in the whole family since you've had your surgery?
Oh, they've been great. They think it's great, and with the granddaughter now, she's 8, or 8 on Thursday. She's just as active as a mother and an auntie, and it's like, come on, Nanny, you got to do this, you got to do that. Yes, I'm coming. I'm not used to racing after a little one, but I've had her since she was 3 months old, so I was sort of like second mum.
Yeah.
So it's like giving me like running around after her and taking her to school and taking her here and there and everywhere, and it's a bit hard to find options to take her somewhere on holidays though.
But you've found that physically you've been able to
physically
engage in so much more.
Yeah.
I know that one of the things that you and your husband love doing is with your vintage cars and car rallies.
Yep.
How do you feel that that's been different for you with weight loss over the years?
I've been able to help more, do more. I actually drive it more now, so it keeps me going. It's like, well, when you've got 5 of them, 4 going, 1 project, you're sort of out there doing all the help as well, sanding and bogging and getting dirty.
Wow, good on you. So tell us about some of the highlights over the last 18 years. What would you say would be highlights that are really, you know, punctuated by weight loss that have made a difference to you in your life?
probably all the friends that I've made here through the years. I mean, I know they've changed our staff a lot, but I mean, all my friends here, it's like a different family. It's like a little family all on its own. It's brought me out of my shell a little bit more at home, given me more determination to do things, helped my husband now with a new business. So it's made me more of a stronger person, more independent, more knowledgeable of what I want to do and help, and just
aware
let
of
it-
your own health,
Yeah.
and what that journey looks like.
and keeps me in control. Yes.
Yeah,
Keeps
okay.
me. I don't go to the doctor all that often. Or probably every 6 months just to get a repeat on prescriptions. Other than that, I've been quite well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You
It's
look
stop-
well, you look fabulous. So you and your husband have a business together?
Yes, we do
What
now.
kind of business?
Fencing, cut price fencing.
And do you feel as though, you know, would you have seen yourself in the business just you and your husband 18 years ago working to the capacity that you're at now?
No, no. He's always been in the business. He's been in the business for 32 years with his brother, and his brother just recently wanted to be bought out. So we've bitten the bullet and bought him out and kept the business. So that keeps him busy.
Thank you for joining the Wellness Warriors podcast. It's been a pleasure to have you online with us. If you enjoyed the series, please leave your review, subscribe and follow, and we look forward to sharing many more stories with you in the future.